Hey everyone, welcome back to Media Matters. Today we've got a lot to discuss. Marvel just announced all of their Phase 4 projects. That includes all of their Phase 4 movies and their Disney Plus shows, so I'm going to quickly talk about each of those and how I feel about them. So, in 2020, we got Black Widow, which personally I never wanted a Black Widow movie, but it could probably work. I've just never found Black Widow that appealing of a character, and she doesn't really add anything that you can't get out of a Captain America movie or, for that matter, Hawkeye or Falcon, Winter Soldier. He just doesn't add much to the table. But what this movie does introduce is Taskmaster, which is a big villain that I think people have been wanting to see. So that's cool. It seems weird that she's getting a movie since she just died in Endgame. Some people think it's going to be a prequel. I haven't really looked into it if they've announced anything yet. But I think it's very possible that they bring her back the same way they recently did in the comics, with it being a clone with the same memories put into that clone's head. So it's essentially Black Widow. I think that would be really fitting, and I think there's a strong possibility that's the direction they're going in. Black Widow, I'm moderately kind of indifferent about, really. It might be good, as long as it's not like a super long movie. But it could be interesting. Taskmaster could... Hopefully it has some great fight scenes, and Taskmaster is awesome. And it's a good spy thriller, and that would I'd be fine with that. Now the next thing in 2020 is going to be Eternals, which is a franchise I don't think anyone cares about. And I don't think this movie is going to... It's not like Guardians of the Galaxy where nobody heard of it, but then they put a guy like James Gunn on in it. He made it his own thing, and it became big. Eternals doesn't have something as quirky as a talking raccoon in a tree that says, "I am Groot" all the time. It's actually one of Jack Kirby's weaker comics, and a lot of the designs for the characters aren't as cool. I just don't know anyone that's excited about an Eternals movie. I know they cast the guy that played Robb Stark in it, which, if you know the premise, is kind of ironic. They cast Robb Stark as the guy that lives forever, which is weird. But yeah, I don't think there's much reason to be excited for this. There's probably some other cosmic concepts they could have done if they wanted another space movie. I don't think Eternals was the way to go. And then we have Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Guess what, guys who hated what they did with the Mandarin in Iron Man 3? We're finally getting the real Mandarin. But it's going to be in a movie without Iron Man. Yeah, just have some random dude that knows martial arts fight Iron Man's main villain. That's what no one wanted. I hate to say it, but Shang-Chi is so obviously it's just an attempt to add diversity. It's completely pointless. Nobody wants a dude that just does martial arts. He's basically Bruce Lee. Like, in a world with Spider-Man and Hulk, I feel like Shang-Chi could have gone straight to Netflix. You know, he's maybe a show-level hero. Which is crazy considering all of the heroes they are sending to TV shows and Disney Plus. They did Ghost Rider on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but Shang-Chi gets his own movie. What the hell? And he gets Iron Man's main villain. Do you think they'll do what they did with the Spider-Man villains and just make all of his villains tie into Tony Stark? That's a strong possibility. Anyway, that comes out in 2021. Only two scheduled Marvel movies for 2020 right now. I don't know why. Why are they going down from 3? It's pretty lazy on their part. Anyway, there is something to get excited for. In 2021, we have Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. I like the title. I don't know of any comic story that it relates to, but yeah, it looks like we're going to explore the multiverse, which everyone... I know a lot of people stupidly thought Mysterio was going to be played straight for some reason, but like... You know, they thought that would be the twist, that Mysterio was actually played straight. I know one guy I worked with thought that. And that's just stupid. Of course it was a trick. Spoilers for Far From Home, I guess. But yeah, we're getting the multiverse revealed this time. Should be a fun movie. Pretty trippy like the first Doctor Strange. And that's in 2020. Then we have, in 2021, Thor Love and Thunder. Which sounds like it's gonna... Stupid name. I'm just gonna say it. Stupid name. Terrible title. Sounds like Jane Foster's coming back. A lot of people are saying they're going to do Femme Thor. But I think they're going to do it a little differently than in the comics. I think it's... What I'm hoping for is that it's going to be kind of a duo. Because if they can find a way to bring Mjolnir back, then they can give that to Jane and Thor can still have Stormbreaker. Unless that goes to Beta Ray Bill, which is a bigger win for us. But, you know, I think it'll be more of a buddy cop film with Jane and Thor, kind of like Ant-Man and Wasp, rather than it just straight up being Jane Foster Thor. At least that's what I'm hoping for. I kind of hope this is a rebound for Thor's character. I did not like Fat Thor in Endgame. But, yeah. Hopefully it's not just a Femme Thor movie, because... yeah. So other than that, we have 2 movies with no release date that are announced, and that's Fantastic Four and Blade. Fantastic Four definitely has the potential to be done well this time. But we have no real details on it. Blade, I'm cautiously optimistic about. For one, they didn't get Wesley Snipes back. But I do like the actor they cast. It's the guy who played Cottonmouth on Luke Cage. And he was the best part of that show. And I think he was like the villain in Alita Battle Angel, which wasn't a big part, but you know, he was pretty cool there. Got some fun lines to say. I like the actor. I don't know if he really holds up to Wesley Snipes, but I guess we'll see. The other thing going up against it is I don't think it'll be rated R, which is really disappointing. I felt it was disappointing that Black Panther wasn't rated R. I kind of have a rule that if your hero's power is having claws, their movie's gonna suck if you can't show them using it. Like, they gave Black Panther that stupid purple kinetic energy thing where people hit him and then it like did a purple blast around him that sent people flying. And that was literally just to avoid him clawing people's jugulars out, which is not a fair trade-off. Just isn't. The fight scenes severely suffered for their rating in that movie, and I think the same thing could be true for Blade, without all the violence. And the other big thing is that in this phase there won't be an Avengers movie, which, I don't know, I guess makes sense. All the Avengers people care about are kind of dead. I don't think Spider-Man will be a part of the Avengers going forward until he gets that whole thing sorted out from the cliffhanger of Far From Home. And Thor is clearly doing his own thing. So there's not really... I don't know, I guess Ant-Man, Wasp, Doctor Strange... who else is left? Black Panther, that could be a fun combo. Yeah, there's still enough Avengers to make a good Avengers movie that people would care about. Yeah, I guess they're going to put it on the back burner for long. This is mostly new characters for this phase, plus the Black Widow movie, which isn't a sequel. There's only 2 sequels in this whole phase so far that we know of. And then there's the Disney Plus shows. You got Falcon and Winter Soldier in 2020. That could probably be really good. Except I would have preferred it if they gave Winter Soldier the shield. Mostly because, like Falcon having wings and a shield looked really silly in the comics. And Winter Soldier just makes more sense because every time, like, Winter Soldier held his own against the actual Captain America, and every time Falcon fought Winter Soldier, he got his ass kicked. So, who should really be whose sidekick there? And besides, Falcon's way too reliant on technology for a Captain America type. I think it would just... Falcon's fine being his own thing. I don't know, it doesn't matter. The characters are the same, I guess. Hopefully that show's good. That's 2020, and then in 2021 we got WandaVision. I'm excited for that show. I like that romance. Despite it getting no real screen time, I think it's the best one in the MCU by default. Because they've been really lacking in romances. Thor and Jane Foster in the first 2 Thor movies were really stale. What's her face? Pepper Potts and Tony Pepper Potts disappeared for a couple movies. No one cared that she was missing. Cap and Peggy were good, but that romance also got no screen time. The MCU is really lacking in romance. It really is. Maybe Wanda and Vision will fix that. Vision's coming back. I kind of assumed that because it seemed like Black Panther's sister there, Shuri, downloaded all his memories, so it seems reasonable that they could rebuild him. Then there's a Loki show in 2021 that I don't care about. I don't care if it's a prequel or a sequel. I feel like Loki's arc was complete. We don't need to explore him anymore. Way too much Thor stuff. And then there's a What If thing that I think's going to be animated, which could be good, but I heard one of the examples being, what if Peggy Carter became Captain America? Which makes no sense. She's British. Even if she got the super soldier serum, she still wouldn't be Captain America. That's like Spider-Man getting his powers and making his web shooters and saying, I'm gonna be Thor. It's just silly. But yeah, What If might be good. It's a good... What If stories are fun. That might be good. And then there's Hawkeye. Again, could be good, but pretty indifferent towards. Those are the Disney Plus shows. So yeah. That's couple of these things look pretty good, but honestly, for the most part, Phase 4 seems pretty weak. I don't know, maybe the movies will surprise, but that's my opinion. So like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, leave a comment, let us know how we're doing, and see you later.